So presently, we have huge moms home 1, 2, and 3, no doubt. I've never seen Medea in a gas suit. I think she wears dresses. And I simply feel as I don't know man in some cases. I keep thinking about whether Tyler Perry resembles he's on a campaign to make people of color look as terrible as conceivable Tyler's actual savvy. And yet for me, just symbolism is disturbing when you would rather not be a piece of the club that annoys them from superstars, confessing to being purposefully sedated to others, getting smacked on live television. Hollywood is by all accounts the home of the general mishmash. Yet it appears to be the monstrous part, maybe taking over as ICE 3D Square is currently uncovering a portion of the not-so-stylish pieces of the business. And during the time spent uncovering exactly the way that profound this thing runs in Hollywood, the rapper-come-entertainer has apparently name-dropped Tyler Perry. Thinking about that, these are the two veterans in the business with long periods of involvement to their belts. This situation was past dangerous shape, apparently had a significant piece of Perry, and the parts he's played in gatekeeping Hollywood through such a long time. And we should say he could have gone way too a bit, yet don't take it from me, see with your own eyes certain individuals might get irritated on the grounds that I will converse with everyone. I'm not playing 2 or 3 days back. ICE 3D shape left the web speechless after he dropped the bomb on each and every Hollywood executive out there. The entertainer as of late posted a video discussing how there's a gathering that really run things in the background in the business, and it appears Tyler Perry could truly be under them. I know how it sounds, yet doesn't the way that this disclosure is coming from a north of multi-decade veteran make you intrigued? No doubt I suspected as much too. The rapper posted an evil video Sunday where he's talking straightforwardly to the camera, and the entertainer goes on this long tirade about being on the outs with the elites and guardians appear to be the greatest makers in the dark diversion business. And keeping in mind that this doesn't straightforwardly name the megastar, let me know who's greater than Tyler Perry in the dark amusement space. Yet that is not all he discussed. Some of you might not have understood that I'm not piece of the club, said ICE 3D shape in his video explanation. Cutoff time reports. And a ton of you paying attention to me here. And the present moment you are not piece of the club. Either some of you might not have understood that I'm not piece of the club. What club am I referring to? I'm discussing the club of watchmen that we as a whole got to manage. You know what their identity is. And they certainly know who they are, he proclaims. ICE 3D Square conceived O'Shea Jackson Sr. heaps up with specific gatherings have caused major problems for him since he put out the agreement with Dark America, which strikes at the core of bigotry and presents a diagram to accomplish racial monetary equity, as per PR Newswire. And a ton of you paying attention to me on the spot. You're not piece of the club either. And what I understood with the club makes them so distraught is the point at which you would rather not be a piece of a club that irritates them, the young men and the hood star, than more than hints how the African American population hasn't gotten any assistance from the guards. And likewise traditional press that is cool, we can do it without anyone's help. You understand what I'm talking about. We're still on the ascent without these mother f-asters, so we needn't bother with them. And you don't require them, he proclaims prior to uncovering his arrangements to do a digital broadcast while out and about. And that is cool, we can do it without anyone else's help. You understand what I'm talking about. We actually need to ascend without these. So yet we don't require them, you don't require them. So how am I going to manage those mother? Quicker risk reference, Mark Bullet and Watchmen. Well, the thing I will do is go on a indicator reference, Mark K, the Guardian's digital recording visit he makes sense of. And I will converse with everyone and have an opportunity to receive my message out to individuals, have the option to allow individuals to hear from me. You realize. Well, what I will do is go on the Watchmen digital recording visit, assuming that new news reports or anything to go by it appears ICE solid shape, was truly alluding to Perry as one of these watchmen. What makes this so clear is the way that this isn't whenever the two monsters first have butt heads throughout the long term. there have been a few discussions about the picture of individuals of color depicted in the media that probably won't be completely precise as a rule in any event, and some way or another Perry's name has consistently found its direction to the focal point, all things considered. At first it was ICE 3D square testing the movie tycoon for utilizing his leverage, simply energized by exploitative, has portrayed individuals of color, an image that has been taken up by traditional press, and has consequently been utilized to pass judgment on individuals of color, both all through media outlets. So you mean, let me know, each maker in Hollywood has this command, give me it needs to come from the studio to hit each maker in light of the fact that each maker don't think a similar solid shape, is by all accounts in the best situation to stand up regarding this matter in light of the fact that dissimilar to Perry, the rapper come entertainer has truly made it a highlight utilize his foundation to zero, in more on handling the issues of dark America. Yet some way or another, the one that is by all accounts battling the conflict is the one getting obstructed by the one spurred by benefit is apparently less than ideal. Does it one fan composed I can never be basically as effective as Tyler Perry and gatekeep my own Kinwell. This isn't truly whenever I's first block experiences spoken about his industry difficulties with elevating what he sees to be the genuine dark culture. It ain't as yet cool enough, the straight-outta Compton movie producer said on February 19th. I mean, it's actually got guardians that has guardians, wherever cool individuals actually struggle with showing what they got in Hollywood. And I've been battling my entire vocation to show an alternate side, yet there's insufficient ice blocks out, there's insufficient ice solid shapes having an opportunity to do their thing, falling off the consecutive triumphs of Compton and Ride Along 2. He added, I'm prepared to run a studio. I'm prepared to greenlight motion pictures. And be not fooling around, he said. Anyway, he had zero desire to fundraise outside the business. Then the thing you're doing is battling with your cash to get once more into the business, or for them to utilize your cash rather than their own. So you got to sort out some way to do it inside the progression of the business. They attempt to, put my business in the road. Put squeeze on me, everyone around me, let me know how moronic I am. I mean, assuming that the man was thinking about opening his own studio to make sure he will not need to manage specific barriers in his profession. It demonstrates that there should be a genuine issue, and he isn't in any way, shape, or form insane. And to put the what tops off an already good thing, the number of individuals of color that do you think have enormous scope studios in the business that could utilize that leverage to gatekeep what content gets out well. I have barely any familiarity with Tyler Perry's studio, is by all accounts the greatest from where I stand talking about the movie producer. This is truly not whenever news first is spreading about Perry's work being less than impressive. You see, throughout the span of his vocation, Tyler Perry has secured himself as quite possibly of the most economically effective figure in the realm of American amusement, known for his exceptionally well-known sensational works. Perry's stage plays and TV programs figured out how to catch the majority due to their exaggerated, exciting bends in the road. While he is referred to by some as a boss of dark amusement, other unmistakable dark makers. For example, Spike Lee affect the business, and yet for me just symbolism, is upsetting as craftsmanship political film through magnum opuses, like Make the Best Decision. Lee's movies tackle troublesome issues, like America's brutal history, and the ubiquitous prejudice that is implanted inside the designs that oversee the country. His vision of film displays a crude and strong energy that consumes the crowd, waking them up to various financial real factors. While discussing the scene of dark craftsmanship, Lee guaranteed that specialists ought to have individual freedom, yet faulted makers like Perry for engendering bigoted thoughts. While gaining by the most terrible motivations of American crowds, every craftsman ought to be permitted to seek after their creative undertakings. Yet I actually think there is a ton of stuff out today that is the Coonary horseplay Lee made sense of. Furthermore, He condemned the hazardous images engendered by Perry's dramatizations. The imaging is alarming. And I realize I was raking in boatloads of cash-breaking records. Yet we could improve during an appearance on the Who's conversing with Chris Wallace. Perry answered the reactions by saying that he had heard everything as per Perry. The assaults against his well-known Medea character are the consequence of elitism in the African American population. He demanded that his accounts begin from his experience growing up encounters, particularly his experience with his mom and her companions, while expounding on the safeguard of his kind of amusement. Perry demanded that it comes from a position of adoration. He said there's a sure piece of our general public, particularly individuals of color, in the way of life that they peer down on specific things inside the way of life. For me, I love the motion pictures that I've done on the grounds that they are individuals, that I grew up with. That I address, Perry added. So when somebody says you're noticing back to a place of our life, that we would rather not discuss it, or we don't believe that the world should see you're excusing the narratives of a great many individuals of color, that is the reason I believe it's been so effective, in light of the fact that it resounds with a ton of us who know these ladies in these encounters, and Uncle Joe, etc. in later years. Lee explained that the quarrel among him and Perry had chilled off, and he said that he was just circulating his closely held convictions anyway. He actually kept up with that. Tyler Perry is all the more a money manager as opposed to a craftsman, and Lee isn't in any way, shape, or form off base about Perry. I imply that ice shape.